Ooh, rock. That's like my backyard underneath a little bit of soil. It's just a rock ridge. So I'm a few minutes away from the car, but I think I got enough time to tell a story because an old friend of mine from growing up, right from grade school to high school and a bit beyond, I found out had passed away. I found this out a few months ago, but he'd passed away about a year before that. So let's say he died a year and a half ago. I'm 63, so maybe he was 61 or 62 when he passed away. I don't know. Anyways, his name was Carson. Kelly was just one of those dynamic personalities that didn't mind pushing the envelope, didn't mind finding the borders, the parameters of what was supposed to be, and just pushing on him a bit, you know. So often what's teenager mischievousness turns into adult ingenuity, creativity that moves the world forward. Kelly was one of those people in so many ways. We got into trouble in junior high school a bit. In fact, my grade 9 years, the last year of junior high, I was kicked out of school. And I was a good kid. I mean, I wasn't like... The teachers would often, and I'm not kidding, the teachers would often come to me and ask me, Alan, what should I do? I'm not kidding. I had teachers ask me that. So I had that going on. But at the same time, I had that little mischievous thing too. So grade 9, we went on a field trip from central Saskatchewan down to southern Saskatchewan to the Great Sandhills near Hazelton. A few of us on the bus in our class decided, oh, it was a prime time to get somebody to buy us some liquor. So, I don't know, 3, 4, 5 of us out of the classroom maybe ended up being stupid enough to get someone to buy us Mickey's. I think I had got a Mickey of whiskey, but I couldn't tell you. So where do you put your liquor when you're on a bus trip? Well, I put mine in my sock. Whoops. Tripping on that stump just reminded me of the story in a new way. So I stuck mine in my sock. I think we're in Rosetown on the way down to Hazelet. And it was like a stop where we could go to the washroom. It was a little service station with, you know, convenience store attached to it or something like that. So we could all get out of the bus and go and buy a Coke or whatever. So my teacher, and there was parents on the bus too, but my teacher was just a few steps ahead of me heading into the garage of the store. And as it was my left leg. I had the Mickey in the sock, tucked into the sock of my left leg. As my left leg went forward into a step, the Mickey came out of the sock. And now imagine a glass bottle sliding across a paved parking lot, if you will. Well, that's what happened. And it basically ended up almost up to his heels. So you'd have to be pretty bloody deaf to not hear that. So he turned around, looked down, there's a Mickey. Turned around, look whose Mickey it probably was. Well, there's only one person that could have been. It was me. Well, they didn't send me home. They didn't cancel the trip. We were still on our way down to this outing. So I was caught, but they were going to deal with it when we got home. So that was like 3 days later. I think we spent 2 nights down there, something like that. Maybe 1 night, but whatever. Probably got home on a Friday early evening. My parents had already been informed. The school had called. My brother and my mother came to pick me up. My dad was still at work. Let's say I was a little bit sheepish. So the following Monday I went to school and I was informed I would be kicked out of school. I would have no access to the prom. I was going to win a physical activity award. I would be denied that. I would be given my marks based on where I was at. So I ended up missing all those finals, which that kind of worked out great. So then one of the last things we did was, not we, but the class went on a trip up to the lake, 25 minutes north of where we grew up. Class trip to the lake. Always a fun time, hang out at the lake, barbecues, all that stuff, right? So I'm here, I'm just gonna have to sit and tell the rest of my story. So of course I wasn't invited to that. I was out riding my bike around, 15 years old, riding my bike around, and who do I see on one of the back streets in a car, a little car? Kelly Carson, 15 years old, and I think it was one of his brother's cars or something. He certainly didn't have permission, but he knew where the keys were, and surprise to me, he knew how to drive. So here we were. I ditched my bike, maybe at his house, maybe at mine, I don't remember, and we took off, and we actually followed the school bus, our classroom, to the lake. We're driving down the highway, he and I, following the school bus to the lake. Oh my gosh, that was out of my scope of mischievousness, naughtiness. Kelly took me somewhere new that I probably never would have gone on my own for sure. So anyways, that's my little story about Kelly Carson. For anybody that knew him, you maybe loved him, you maybe hated him, but there was something about Kelly that was always sort of larger than life. He was always a dynamic personality, ended up being a pretty good hockey player. I don't know what he did with his life, but that's my story. That's my tribute to Kelly Carson. As now I make my way back to the junky Dodge van to head home. God bless you, Kelly. Who knows? Maybe we'll see you on the other side. I'm certainly planning on being there on the good part of it. Ciao.